In the chronicles of Chinese civilization, a domain lived at the center of city life, quietly shaping art, culture, and destiny. Known as the pleasure quarters, it was a space where music echoed through courtyards and women held power beyond the world's limits. 2,000 years ago in the Han Dynasty, wine shops and goyuan emerged as places for weary officials to find music and tea. The women were artisans, dancers, and singers trained to soothe the minds of those who carried the weight of empire. By the Tang Dynasty, the capital of Chang'an buzzed like the center of the world, filled with traders and poets from far-off lands. Inside regulated wards, women were trained for years to not only charm, but to challenge and inspire the intellectual elite. The highest-ranked women, the Yeji, mastered poetry and conversation, becoming trusted companions to the empire's greatest thinkers. In the Song Dynasty, cities like Kaifeng created magical entertainment zones known as Fang, where every alley had a story. Elite courtesans occupied the top of the hierarchy, possessing the social freedom to choose their clients and negotiate their own terms. Scholars fell helplessly in love, spending fortunes seeking affection from women trained never to belong to one man. During the Ming Dynasty, courtesans in Suzhou and Nanjing became celebrities, with gentlemen traveling miles to hear them sing. The pleasure quarters became the birthplace of Chinese opera, mirroring themes of forbidden love and tragic longing. The Qing dynasty brought decline as conservative rulers tightened moral controls, stripping away the artistic prestige of the houses. Where once stood refinement, there now rose labyrinths of commercial brothels and tragic stories that would never be retold. Despite the struggle, these women lived outside the boundaries of society, carving out spaces for independence and self-expression. They were poets, musicians, and survivors who reflected the deep contradictions at the heart of their civilization. Their voices still call across the centuries, reminding us that culture is shaped by those whose names were never meant to be written. Across 3,000 years of Chinese history, a hidden world existed at the heart of city life, shaping art and politics. It was the domain of the pleasure quarters, a space of music, poetry, and influence often ignored by official records. We begin over 2,000 years ago in the Han Dynasty, where early wine shops and music rooms first emerged. These women were artisans, dancers, and singers trained to soothe the minds of officials burdened by the weight of empire. As centuries passed, the Tang Dynasty turned these districts into regulated, vibrant theaters of creativity. The highest-ranked women, the Yuji, were elite intellectuals who mastered the pipa and debated with the era's greatest scholars. In the Song Dynasty, the pleasure quarters became Fang, self-contained neighborhoods where every alley told a story. Top-tier Song courtesans held immense social power, often possessing more freedom than the wives confined by strict Confucian rules. This was an era of profound romance, where scholars risked their fortunes and reputations for a chance at true affection. By the Ming Dynasty, courtesans in Suzhou and Nanjing became true celebrities, sought after for their artistry and wit. But beneath the glamour, a darker reality persisted. Thousands of women were bought and sold as property within the brothel system. The Qing dynasty brought a sharp decline as conservative rulers imposed strict moral laws that stripped away the prestige of the districts. The world of poetry and refinement gave way to unregulated commercial brothels and the tragedy of trafficking. Despite the shadows, these women remained survivors, some building their own wealth and defying the patriarchal structures of their time. They lived outside the boundaries of respectable society, yet they created a sanctuary for art that would otherwise not exist. Their legacy survives in the poetry we read and the operas we watch, voices from the margins that refuse to be silenced. The red light culture of ancient China remains a story of beauty and sorrow, a mirror to the contradictions of civilization itself.